Welcome back. My name's Jessica from Jessica's Craft Time, and I haven't turned my lights on. Let's turn my lights on. So, today's Whip and Chat and review. I finished my panda. I love him. I love him so much. This was my very first Diamond Art Club, and now I know why everyone raves about them. It's a square drill, and it was an absolute pleasure to work on. There's quite a bit of color blocking in it. The diamonds went down really well. There was a little bit of trash like you always get, but had well and truly enough to finish the canvas. Yeah, 31 colors. I've still got my washi tape on it. 31 colors. I always like to put the washi tape around the edge, just so that one, I've got something to to line the drills up to on the edge, but two, you always get a there's a tiny little bit of glue on the edge of this. And at the moment it's winter here, so I'm quite often diamond painting with a dressing gown or a jumper or something on. I didn't have to use a light pad with it, so I'd finally got my new light pad and I didn't need to use it because the symbols were all very clear. Yeah, I just absolutely loved it. I loved how it came out. I've actually got 2 gifts I need to make, and I was going to do something else for them, but I've got the panda and some sort of monkey and ape or something. And I'm thinking they're going to get these instead of the other ones because I just love the colors. They just pop. They're beautiful. Look at the I mean, you can see the shine on it there. Just look at the glimmer and the shine. So yeah, Diamond Art Club, love it. I'll pop the link below. So yeah, that's my Diamond Art Club. So yeah, we'll definitely have to save my pennies to get some more Diamond Art Clubs, because yeah, it was just an absolute pleasure. There's no popping drills. Yeah, really nicely spaced. And I do have my other one I haven't done yet, and I'm holding off doing it only because this was such a pleasure to work on. I want to do a couple that are not so fun to work on first, so then I can reward myself with another one. So that was just my bit of review on my Diamond Art Club. The other thing that I got during that order was my pen, my very sparkly Diamond Art Club pen, and it's been lovely to work with. So I just love the sparkle in it. It's not quite showing. Love the sparkle, love the blue in it. So let's get down to, let me just move this away, and let's get down to some whip and chatting. What's everyone working on? I'd love to see what you're working on. If you pop down to the description box below, which is the little arrow, there will be a link in there to my Facebook group. So I'd love you to pop over and join, have a look around. We're only new, but I'm just going to move you down a little bit just so you can see what I'm working on. Oops, sorry, bit of a wobble. I'd love you to pop over to my Facebook group and have a look around, and I'd love to see what you're working on. I really enjoy seeing what other people are creating. It doesn't have to be diamond painting related. That's not working very well. Let me find something else. Doesn't have to be diamond painting. I love every craft. I just love sharing what people are working on. I love seeing how creative people can be. So would love you to jump over there and join. There's just a couple of questions to ask. Answer the just say you agree to the rules. The rules are very, very basic. Be nice. That's all I ask. Be nice. I don't want any of this, you know, putting down people. Yeah, I don't want a bullying page. I just want to You know, I want people to have somewhere that they can share their crafts they're doing and getting praise. And, you know, sometimes if you're at home on your own, or, you know, you have a partner or someone that doesn't craft, they may not appreciate the time that it takes to complete a craft. And I know that when I'm finished, I get really excited. I'm very, very, very lucky that my 4-year-old loves seeing what I create. So he gets home from preschool, he's like, Mummy, what did you make today? And we've got to come out to the garage and I show him. He'll be like, did you do some more on your miniature house? No, mate, not today. Mummy, I want you to finish it. So he really enjoys seeing what I do. So that's like my little show and tell. When he gets home, I get to show him what I've done. But it's nice to be able to share and to bump around ideas sometimes. Sometimes you have something and you're like, oh, just not sure how to finish it, or I will help out the best I can in giving advice, and there'll be people on the page that'll be able to help as well. So the link to my Facebook group is down below. If you'd like to join, you're more than welcome to. I just want to say thank you and welcome to all our new subscribers. I hope you enjoy watching the videos and enjoying my little craft journey of the different crafts I've been doing. So yeah, I reckon we might almost get this one finished today. We'll see how we go. What do we want? The purple, I call them hazmat signs. I love this purple. Hang on, let me just drop it. I love this purple. And we've got a runaway blue. So, I'm just using my this little pillbox container. I find it really good for small projects. I have done a big project with it. It was a 1.2 by 60 centimeters, I think. It was a very big project, and I did it all out of my little containers. I do have a bigger container coming, but it has not showed up yet because of everything. I'm waiting for the postman day and night. But things are very slow at the moment, so I'm sure it'll get here eventually. So talking about postmen, I've tended to be sitting up quite late lately diamond painting, because if anyone diamond paints along, and you get stuck in that groove and you're like, all right, I'll just finish this color. Oh no, we'll just do one more color. Oh no, I'll just do one more color. And then next thing you know, it's nearly midnight and you should really be in bed. I do apologize for any noises that might pop up. Today we have quite windy weather here, so I'm a little bit sheltered where I am. We're down in like a little bit of a dip, but it's quite windy, so when it starts blowing at home, you know it's really windy when it's up a little bit higher. So yes, I apologize for that. So yeah, I'm sitting at home and it's after midnight. It was like 12:30 or something. I'm like just having that little bit of, you know, check my phone before I go to bed, and I happened to open my email and it said a parcel was delivered. I went, mind you, this was Sunday night. I'm like, what are you talking about, a parcel delivered? Now our front, we're in a dead end street, so we normally know when vehicles go up and down the road, and I do sort of remember hearing something, but I didn't think much of it. Sure enough, I go outside and I check my letterbox. Not only did they not shut my letterbox again, but there's my parcel. It was delivered at 11:58 p.m, nearly midnight on a Sunday night. Crazy, absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe it. So I'm really glad I checked my email. So now I'm making sure I check my email before I go to bed every night, just in case there's a parcel sitting out the front of my house. But I couldn't believe it, 11:59 or 58 on a Sunday night, and they were delivering me a package. So anyway, I got my package, which was crazy, delivered so late. But yeah, things are just taking a long time to move around. I've got a few pieces coming from America, from some Etsy stores, which I can't wait to get. I'm really looking forward to getting those ones. And yeah, I've got a few more houses to come, miniature rooms, but yet again they're coming off AliExpress. I've had a look through Amazon. I couldn't find what I was after, so I've tried AliExpress, but the last one, things from AliExpress are taking a long time. I've got a tray. I ordered a bigger tray. I think it's been something like 3 months. It's crazy. It says that it's in the country, but because it's in a small package, our postal service here, our letter delivery service, is only doing it every second day. So we're not getting letters as often, and I'm pretty sure because it's just a tray, it will be coming through as a letter. So I sit and wait, and yeah, normally like our old Australia Post Service, our delivery guy, he always delivered to me like first thing in the morning. It was always between 7 and 7:30 a.m. And I'd lay in bed and hear the parcel drop on the front doorstep. And I'm like, and some mornings he'd feel really, really bad because he'd have to ring the doorbell to get a signature. And as soon as I open the door, he's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, that's okay. Yeah. But yeah, so that's our postal service at the moment. So what happened last weekend? What did I do? I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's right. So on Saturday, we went down to the in-laws' house. Now, they live on a hill, quite a big hill. And the house is on a hill. The house is, well, you could call it 1, 2, 4 or 5 stories, but purely because it's on a hill. So each area of the house you sort of keep stepping down to. And my father-in-law had brought a sauna. So hubby and him get in the car and off they go. It was out west, so it was about an hour drive to pick up this sauna, and they get back, and then their driveway is really steep, so they've parked the car up the top of the driveway because there's no room to back a trailer down the driveway. And we couldn't have unloaded it because it would have been on a hill, and we couldn't have unloaded it. So we've unloaded it at the top of the hill. So hubby and father-in-law and myself managed to get the 5 boxes from the trailer down into the garage. Now, when I say 5 boxes, one was easy. It was a square box. It's all right. 2 of us carried it really easily. The other 4 boxes were like 2 meters. One was 2 meters by 1.4 or 8 or something. They were big boxes. Big. They were taller than me. 2 of them were taller than me. The other 2 were a little bit shorter than me. But they also weighed about 88 kilos each. So we managed down the driveway. It was easy. We managed to strap them flat onto the trailer, onto a trolley, and just sort of use the wheels of the trolley, and we just guided it down the hill. Mind you, they almost took off on us a couple of times. So got them into the garage, went and had lunch, and worked up enough stamina to go and get them down the side of the house. Well, that was a challenge. So the side of the house is very narrow. We had to go down a narrow little steps to the front door, then turn the boxes under the eave of the house and not damage the eave, then down a little path, round the corner, and then down the big path to the backyard, because this sauna is going into the laundry, which is down the back of the house and also down the bottom of the hill. So my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, myself, and my hubby left my son inside with his great-grandmother, and away we went trying to get these boxes down the hill. Well, I now know why my father-in-law was concerned about me lifting the boxes, because my mother-in-law can't really lift much. And when we broke it down, it wasn't too bad. It was like 22 kilos each. And my son's about 20 kilos, just over. So it wasn't too hard. It's just these boxes were so awkward. We were going down a hill that wasn't even a path. There's a couple of rocks as kind of stepping stones. So we managed to get them all downstairs. Finally, we tried a couple of different things, tried to sort of balance them on a trolley, but in the end we decided it was just easier. Two at the front, two at the back, and just lift them. And we broke a shoe, we smashed a couple of fingers against a fence, but we got them down there, and it took us some time. We had to keep stopping and putting it down and then lifting again, because you had to be careful where you were walking. It was quite narrow, so to have two people wide plus the box in the middle was quite hard, but we got there. And then my mother-in-law's work was getting rid of a fridge, and they said to us, do we want it? And I said, look, another fridge would be handy, because we've just got we don't have a very large fridge, and we like to have barbecues with people around. And that normally happens in the summer, so you kind of need to keep food refrigerated. You can't just leave it out on the bench. And we did get, last year, we got a little bar fridge from her work as well. But they're like, oh, do you want a bigger fridge? I'm like, I've got nowhere to put the bigger fridge. They're like, put it in the garage. I'm like, no. The garage is my crafting room. There's no space in here for a fridge. And it was a big upright. It was just a fridge, not fridge freezer, but it was a fairly big upright fridge. So I said to them, now that you're putting the sauna downstairs near the swimming pool, and they've got a room downstairs that's got a pool table in it, I said, why don't we take your little bar fridge that's down there, and you take the big fridge, because that would be perfect in summer to store all the drinks while people are downstairs around the pool and enjoying themselves playing pool and using the sauna. So they hadn't picked the fridge up yet. I'm like, well, we're here with the trailer. We're already here. We've already moved stuff. Why don't you go and pick up the fridge? We'll bring the big fridge downstairs and take the little fridge up, and we can take that home. Because my husband also has like a little room in the garage, which is his man cave. I'm like, the fridge would fit perfectly in there, I think. So then the boys went and picked the fridge up, and then they got the fridge. We smashed my father-in-law's fingers against a fence as it was coming down the rocks. It fell. But we finally got the big fridge downstairs as well, and then they carried the little fridge back up and into our car. So all the fridges have been moved. All the saunas moved. But then it ended up being a really long day, because we got there at about 10:30 in the morning. By the time we left, it was 8:30 at night. By the time we'd done all the moving around, then took the trailer back, and we're like, well, we might as well stay for dinner. Let's go and get something for dinner, because it's a 45-minute drive home for us. So I'm like, I'm not driving home now and cooking dinner. It's too late. So by the time we did all that, it ended up being a very long day. But we also, when they went to get the sauna, my mother-in-law and myself took my son out. So one of his favourite places, my mother-in-law works at Wollongong University, is the university grounds. He loves going to the university grounds, and now I know why. I'd never been up there, but we took him down there, and it's a perfect place. On the weekend, it's really quiet. There's still people around, but it's fairly quiet. So in this whole time that we need to be careful of social distancing and all that kind of thing, the university grounds are perfect, because there's not many people around. They have ponds, like a little creek and ponds that run sort of through the grounds. So, and they have perfect little footpaths around that my son's able to ride his bike. So he jumps on his bike and away he goes. I'm like, oh, we can't see him. My mother-in-law's, he's fine. He knows exactly where he's going. He's been here all the time. So, and he was so excited because we saw the big red fish, and I swear it's just someone let their goldfish go in the pond. But he was a big boy. So we saw the ducks, and there's a couple of eels that live in the pond, and went for a walk around there. So that was fun. He got to show me all his favourite spots to ride around the university. And then it's like, all right, let's head further south, and we can go down to where the War Museum is. It might be Maritime Museum, which isn't open at the moment, unfortunately. But they have the grounds around it that they've got, the old anchors and old cannons on the grounds. So we did a bit of a walk around there, and it started to rain a little bit, but that's all right. She's like, oh, we're going to go, it's raining. I'm like, it's a little bit of rain, don't worry about it. So we went for a walk around, and then they've got the break wall, which is this kilometre-long concrete wall that sticks out to protect. They used it to protect the harbour during wartime. And so we walked the kilometre out the break wall, which was really nice. It was a bit blowy. It was a little bit cold, but that's okay. Luckily, the rain cleared up before we started heading out, which was good. And out when you get to the 1 kilometre mark, so I don't know why, apparently it's just the 1 kilometre mark. If you go to the edge, now you have to be very careful because you're meant to stay on the path. But, you know, if you walk over to the edge and you look down, you get to see seals. And the seals bake, what was the word? Bask? Sunbathe? Whatever you want to call it. On the rocks of the break wall. So we got to see seals. My son started crying and I want to go home because he loves animals as long as they're in a cage or on the TV. He's not so sure about bigger animals when they're in the wild where he can see them. So that's all right. We went for a walk and we get to the end and I'm like, this is really strange. Something's happening here. There was a scooter, an electric scooter, like a mobility scooter, a travel one, at the end of the pier or the break wall. And it was just sitting there and there's no one else around. I'm like, no one came past us on a scooter. No one's passed us on the walk out. I'm like, this is really strange. Has someone come down here that's been disabled, that's fallen off the side or something? So we're having a look around. I'm like, excuse me. And I look down and there's a guy fishing. He obviously does fishing at this spot regularly. And he must have ridden a scooter to the end. Because like I say, it's a kilometre walk. It's a decent walk. You don't want to be doing that if you're carrying a bucket full of fish you've caught. I'm like, that's a great idea. And these mobility scooters, my husband's grandmother's got one. They're great because they fold up and you can fit them in the car. So it's really good. It means that we can take her out. She's got a big scooter, but you can't put that in a car. You need a trailer to get that round. So these little ones are great. She can come for walks with us. But yeah, I was like worried that some guy had gone down to the end of the pier and fallen off. No, it was just a fisherman. So yeah, that was an interesting morning for us because it was, 2.5 hour round trip by the time they loaded it to go and get the sauna. So that was nice to go there. And then the rest of the week, we've just been exploring our local area. So we live right on the Royal National Park. And we've got lots of rivers around us. So we've been exploring. I'm never very good at looking at Google Maps to find a new place to go. Everywhere I try is a bit of a dud. But hubby's home at the moment. So he's been looking at the maps every morning and finding a new place for us to go and explore and ride our bikes and do that. We went into the national park yesterday. Like I said, this is all very close to home. We don't have to travel far. The spot we went to was only 5Ks as the crow flies from home. Took a little bit longer because you had to drive around, but it's not far from home. And yeah, we found an absolutely beautiful spot. What was a little bit funny and scary when we got there, we said to our son's loving his bike. He's just, like I've said before, he's just learning to ride without his training wheels. So we've been trying to find paths that are suitable that he can ride. It doesn't matter if they're dirt, because we're trying to get him to ride on a little bit challenging areas. He's picked up this whole riding thing a lot quicker than I thought he would. Oops, I've left some colours in there. So we get to this path, was it yesterday? Yeah, get to this path. Just so you know, I film this on a Wednesday and it goes up on a Monday. So I'm talking about the last since we last spoke. So we get to this path, and it looks a bit dicey, but all right, we'll try the bike. And we didn't quite realize. So it's a fire trail. So it's decently wide because it's designed to be able to get fire trucks into the national park. But most of the year it's just used as a walking track. And there's a few hills. There's like bumps, and it must be where they sort of have put bumps in the road to stop all the gravel washing down the hill. So off he goes on his bike. But he hasn't quite got the hang of the brakes, and he doesn't often ride downhill. And guess what? He was going downhill. I'm so kicking myself I didn't film it. Poor little tackers, pedaling down the hill. And we can see him picking up speed, and he's got to go over a bump and down again, and then over another one. And we're like, brake, mate, brake. And instead of braking, because he's worried if he brakes too much, he'll fall off his bike, he'll lose his balance. So instead of braking, he takes his feet off the pedals and tries to stop himself falling off. But all that does is starts him wobbling a little bit more. We're like, brake, put your feet on the pedals, brake. And he tries to brake again, and he slows down a little bit. But then he's like, no, and takes his feet off the pedals and tries to stop with his feet. And then, of course, he ended up on the ground. He kind of, he tried to brake, and then he put his feet down and tried to stop with his feet, and that didn't work. And his feet, he must have got he gets a bit excited, and then he starts wobbling his handlebars, and all ended up on the ground. He was fine. No blood was drawn. He probably has a few bruises on him today. But he was fine. And so we said to him, now, mate, you've just come down this hill. See, we've got further to go. We're only about halfway down the path that we could see going downwards. I'm like, do you think we could possibly take the bike back to the car, and we might just go for a bushwalk today? And it took a little bit of convincing. And then we changed the topic. He's got a big gravedigger monster truck, remote control. We're like, okay, well, next time we'll come back here, we'll bring your remote control gravedigger, and he can go down the bump. So we convinced him to go to take the bike back to the car. And then we went for a lovely walk, and there was a creek, and we took one of the side paths that took us down to the creek, and we sat there and made boats with leaves and watched them going down the water for a bit. And we kept walking. We walked about 2.5 km or so there and back along the path. I sort of said on the way back, I said, let's pack some food next time, because we only packed some water. We didn't take much with us. We were only going for a short walk. And I said, let's take some food with us next time, and we'll walk a bit further and see what else we can find. And one of the side paths said it had a rest area, and we could hear people laughing up ahead. So I thought maybe next time we could take that rest area spot and take some food and go for a little bit longer walk. So I think that might be our plan for next weekend, because we really enjoyed the spot. It was a really, really pretty spot. So yeah, that was really nice exploring that. Where else did we go? We've also we found another little park near home that's on the river. So there was a playground there, and he got to play on the playground, and it's right near the river. So we sat by the river for a little bit and played in the sand. Went for a walk over a little bridge. And another favourite spot we found as well, which is by the river too. And we park at the opposite end to the park, and we walk. So it's probably a K or so to a playground. We don't park at the playground, we walk to it. And then from there, what's that one? That's that. From there, he gets to play in the playground for a little bit, and then we walk home. We're back to the car. So we're finding lots of good little areas around. It's just a matter of finding them that they're accessible by car, somewhere to park. And that it's suitable for him to walk. So walk or ride his bike. We've just got to decide which one we're going to do. He wanted to take his scooter, and we're like, no, that's really not going to work. So yeah, we've had some really beautiful weather here. It's been about 20 degrees, so it's been nice to. We've only got a little bit more to do. Yeah, so it's been really nice, the weather. It's a bit windy today, so it'll be a bit cold down by the river today. And then, at the end of last week, where his preschool is, if you keep going down the side road where the car park drops you out, there's our closest river access. So we went down there at the end of last week. One day after preschool, and he got to finish his lunch down there, and then we went for a bit of a walk and explore around there, out onto the pier. I couldn't see any fish. It was quite murky that day. So yeah, just trying to get out and about, and try and do a little bit of exercise. This whole COVID thing's taking a toll on everyone's waistline, as far as I know. It's definitely taking a toll on mine, so just trying to get out a little bit and do some exercise. But it's been great for my crafting. I've really enjoyed, not having commitments on the weekend, that I can spend a little bit of time here and there. In saying that, I am missing all my friends and catching up with people, which I'm sure everyone is. But yeah, that's sort of what we've been up to this week. I've only placed a couple of small orders I've got coming in, but yeah, they're just going to be really slow. I'm kind of not expecting anything for the rest of the week. But yeah, I've got a few. I'm ahead in my unboxings, so you'll keep seeing products on the page come up, and then I can review them once I've unboxed them. I've got one that I've been doing, which the unboxing hasn't come up yet, but I've been using and playing with, and I'm really, really loving it. So I'm looking forward to be able to review it in my Wip and Chat. But yeah, I'd love to know what you're doing and where you're all from, because I think there's a few people in here that are from America, so we're in your summer. I'm definitely getting the spring vibes starting to happen here, even though we're still in winter. The days are warming. So yeah, now, there's only a couple. Let's finish. What can we chat about for a couple of minutes just to finish this off? Might as well finish it. We're so close, and then I'll have to kit up. I'll go in and kit up a new project to do. What have we got? Lines there. Let's finish this one off. So I'm really enjoying working on the sparkling one. This one is from Shoalhaven Diamond Dots. The link will be below in the description. They are in the process of changing their names, so her name will change. It won't be Shoalhaven, but I love ordering from her. Like, things come so quick. She posts out the next day. If you've missed her postal cutoff that day, if you get in early enough, you can quite often get the order out straight away. That day, she'll post it that day. But if you're a nighttime shopper, like I think a lot of people are, then she generally posts the next day. If it's over the weekend, she posts on the Monday. So after that, it's reliant on Australia Post, which for me, I can't believe how quickly I've got some of her things. But I love her customer service. She's great. She lets you know if there's any issues. If you have any issues, she deals with them promptly. Yeah, so I love getting her stuff. So I've got a big square one I'm going to try of her. She mainly does specials and rounds, but she started bringing in some squares, so I've got my big koi fish to do. So, and we are done in our dream catcher. Let me just pop these away, and I will zoom you out. And you can, I just dropped my tray. Let's have a look out. How far can I go and get all my bits? But there's our sparkly dream catcher. So thank you for joining me for my whip and chat. I love this. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But thank you for joining me for my whip and chat. I've enjoyed having you along. And like I said below, if you'd like to join the Facebook page and you can post what you're working on, I'd love to see it. If you've enjoyed this video, please think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing, and I will see you all soon. Bye.